But I'm an American president.
Are you sure about that? My name is April Clayton, and I am a MAGA Republican. If you didn't get a chance to see Biden's campaign speech that he gave last night on the taxpayer's dime, I don't blame you because most of the networks chose not to run it. He basically ranted and raged against all of us who love America and support President Donald John Trump. Joe, you're supposed to go back to the podium now. Back to the podium. There you go. What do you think of that red satanic background? Is he paying homage to the Chinese government?
My fellow Americans, please, if you have a seat. I speak to you tonight from sacred ground in America. Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is where America made its Declaration of Independence to the world more than 2 centuries ago with an idea unique among nations, that in America, we're all created equal. Now in our time, as we build an America that is more prosperous, free, and just, that is the work of my presidency, a mission I believe in with my whole soul. But first, we must be honest with each other and with ourselves. Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal.
You can say that again, Jack.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Now, I want to be very clear up front. Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know, because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans.
Like who? Liz Cheney, whose sorry face was plastered across prime time in those deplorable January 6th hearings? That's not a true Republican. She's part of the elite. As MAGA Republicans, our only crime is that we love this nation, and we want to see its citizens thrive.
There's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country.
No, we're only a threat to the power of the globalist elites who want to rule the world economy.
These are hard things. But I'm an American president.
Are you sure about that?
Not a president of red America, blue America, but of all America. And I believe it's my duty to level with you, to tell the truth, no matter how difficult, no matter how painful. And here, in my view, is what is true. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people.
Deflect much? It's not us who conducted shady business in November of 2020, or are trying to pack the Supreme Court, or are leaving the border wide open to all of this nation's enemies.
They refuse to accept the results of a free election. And they're working right now, as I speak, in state after state, to give power to decide elections in America to partisans and cronies, empowering election deniers to
You should know.
undermine democracy itself. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. They promote authoritarian leaders and they fan the flames of political violence.
Oh yeah, like we're the ones that bailed out Antifa and BLM rioters who burned down cities across this nation. MAGA Republicans want to go backwards, all right. We want to go backwards to a time where this nation feared God and followed the 10 Commandments. In a time where we could actually afford gas prices and food prices, thank you very much.
That are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country. They look at the mob that stormed the United States Capitol on January 6th, brutally attacking law enforcement, not as insurrectionists who placed a dagger at the throat of our democracy, but they look at them as patriots. And they see their MAGA failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 elections.
No, we look at the majority of the protesters at the Capitol as innocent. Many of them were let in by the police. In every group you have wrong-headed individuals, but the majority have been falsely imprisoned.
They tried everything last time to nullify the votes of 81 million people.
Are you sure you got that many? You really couldn't draw much of a crowd from the basement.
This time, they're determined to succeed in thwarting the will of the people. That's why respected conservatives like Federal Circuit Court Judge Michael Ludwig has called Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans, quote, a clear and present danger to our democracy. But while the threat to American democracy is real, I want to say as clearly as we can, we are not powerless in the face of these threats. We are not bystanders in this ongoing attack on democracy. There are far more Americans from every background and belief who reject the extreme MAGA ideology.
What is extreme MAGA ideology? Make America great again? Let Americans pursue happiness without regulations and having their businesses shut down during COVID? Putting the American citizen before the illegal immigrant? Having a sense of law and order in this nation? Not letting repeat offenders out without bail?
And now, America must choose to move forward or to move backwards, to build a future or obsess about the past, to be a nation of hope and unity and optimism, or a nation of fear, division, and of darkness.
Fear, division, and darkness. You're doing a pretty good job of that, Joe.
MAGA Republicans have made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. They live not in the light of truth, but in the shadow of lies. But together we can choose a different path. We can choose a better path forward to the future. And I know our history. This is a nation that honors our Constitution. We do not reject it. This is a nation that believes in the rule of law. We do not repudiate it. This is a nation that respects free and fair elections. We honor the will of the people. We do not deny it.
Oh, now you're just mocking us.
And this is a nation that rejects violence as a political tool. We do not encourage violence. We are still an America that believes in honesty and decency and respect for others.
I'd be watching out for lightning about now.
Patriotism, liberty, justice for all, hope, possibilities. We are still, at our core, a democracy. History tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy.
Let's get this straight. Those of us who support President Donald Trump, we do not have blind loyalty to him. He is merely a man. We love God and we love this nation, and we know that Donald Trump is the best man to lead this nation by the will and grace of God.
Today, there are dangers around us we cannot allow to prevail. We here, you've heard it, more and more talk about violence as an acceptable political tool in this country.
I'm not hearing that from anyone who supports President Trump. This speech really shows that Joe Biden is living in intense fear of exposure.
We're going to think big. We're going to make the 21st century another American century because the world needs us to. That's where we need to focus our energy. Not in the past, not on divisive culture wars, not on the politics of grievance, but on a future we can build together.
Well, this speech is really going a long way to do that, buddy. Do you notice with this red backdrop, his skin looks awfully jaundiced? He looks quite a bit yellow. Thanks, Joe. You've made me more proud to be a MAGA Republican than I've ever been in the past. I just might buy me one of those red MAGA hats and wear it in public and not be afraid to be persecuted from those creeps on the left. Game on! I support President Donald John Trump in his efforts to make America great again. We want American citizens to thrive in the pursuit of happiness without government regulations bogging us down, without the fear of our businesses being shut down by government regulations. We want American citizenship to mean something. You have to come into this country legally. And American citizens should never have to go to the back of the line to get the public services that our tax dollars pay for. If you like this video, give it a like, consider subscribing for more news and reviews, and God bless.